What's up, guys? Week number 4 of my fall programming. This is another deadlift session for the week, or I guess the deadlift session for another week. Scheduled to hit the same 655 block pulls, this time from a bit lower. I made, not necessarily a mistake, but I dropped a whole nother pinhole on my rack and then realized that it's a little bit over 2 inches of a drop. I figured this out when I couldn't move 605 on this set here. So what I did instead is I threw an inch and a half worth of mats under my pull positioning from last week. So it's an inch and a half lower instead of a little over 2. And I think what I'll do is I'll just take away a mat next week, take away the mat the following week. That way I can get 2 more weeks of progression at this setting. And then at that point I think I may switch over to a block pull, since it'll be getting closer to something that I can pull off of that instead of in the rack. And then I can use a deadlift bar and that'll let me continue to progress forward. But because of that, and because I only got probably a good 4 hours of sleep the night before this, just weights were feeling really heavy, and I only managed to pull 3 reps with 655 here on my top set. I was pretty gassed after that, so I really had to push myself to get through the rest of the workout. Most of my work sets were followed by a pretty decent amount of time spent laying on my face on the ground. I was really low energy, really beat down, and this workout took a lot out of me. And I'm still feeling it here this day after. I came home and just completely crashed, and then had to go back to work for a few hours, and then came home and crashed again until today. But was really proud of the effort that I did end up putting through. Although things didn't go quite how I had expected on the rack pulls, I still made up for it in the accessory work and hit a total of 15 reps here with the deadlift stance box squat. I had to take a break every couple of reps here and kind of hold on to the rack pins on the mono to give myself some balance, just because I was getting really lightheaded and starting to get dizzy and lose my balance and everything. So I would kind of grab onto those to regroup, knock out another rep or 2, grab back onto them to regroup, and just kind of did it in clusters until I hit 15. So came within 1 rep of what I ended up hitting last week at 20 pounds lighter. I think with a good actual night's worth of sleep, this hopefully, we'll see how this works next week. This should all feel a little bit better. If for some reason I don't progress with the little bit lower rack position, then it may be about time to take the rack pulls out and start leading off with the deadlift stance box squat as the first movement. That's kind of how the program is designed to progress. When you hit a position or a stalling point in the order that the exercises are written, then you just drop off an exercise in the beginning, and then the workout starts with the second one. So I would end up dropping the rack pulls, starting with the deadlift stance box squats, and then moving into the deficit pulls, and writing that out until that no longer causes progress, at which point I would then drop the deadlift stance box squats. But I think that is more just a fluke and the product of being under-rested going into the session. So the deficit pulls felt pretty good. As you can see, I did a little bit of playing around with positioning. On my first couple of reps, I wasn't quite sitting back into my hips enough as I was reaching down to the bar, and that was taking away some of the preloading in my hamstring. So I got that figured out towards the last couple of warm-up sets, last one being 365, and then got a really solid set of 10 with 405. Not something that I haven't done before, so it's not really a rep PR, but I haven't done it with the exercises in this order before. So pulled 405 for I think 12 or something like that off of a similar deficit, but it was a lot earlier in the workout. So fatigue being accounted for, this is a pretty good performance. And you can see that all the reps are nice and smooth, the bar is staying close to my body the entire time, and the bar path is consistent and vertical. So technique wise, you can see the carryover from some of the other supplemental exercises that I've been using, mainly the quad work and the deadlift stance box squat, because I'm able to really focus on just getting that drive from the legs out the bottom. That combined with the additional upper back strength that I've built both from the rack pulls and from those box squats, but also from the front squats that I've been doing every week and the safety bar squats. My positioning is holding up a lot better. So moved into the leg press. I didn't show this last week, but basically here I've been going sets of 20 up until I can't hit 20 anymore. Last week I hit 770, and I came over to start my sets here at I think this same 630, and I couldn't even get it to move. So I started at 450, went 540, both for 20, and then decided to take 630 for a set of 30 reps instead of trying to add a bit of weight. So these I may up the rep range on them just because the way my leg press machine is engineered, the angles and the width of the foot pad and placement are not super conducive to loading up really heavy without putting unnecessary pressure on my knees. So I'll probably drop or up the rep range to 30s on that. That way I can ride out some progression with the leg press exercise as well. So came back, hit the barbell rows, ended up getting 265 for somewhere between 18 and 19 reps. Then finished with 5 sets of 10 on the chest supported row and 5 sets of 10 on the leg curls, which I will probably swap out for glute ham raises since I've kind of maxed that machine out as well. And glute ham raise will allow me to still make progress. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to probably try not to fall asleep since I'm still really tired from this session. If you haven't done so already, connect with me on Facebook and Instagram. And as always, be sure to check out the gym's website at savagegym.com.